Ow, my balls.
That was the first thing they heard too.
Was it?
Yeah.
Hey, guys. All right, we are live on Twitch. Hey, everybody. Welcome to this week's episode of the VCR Gaming Podcast. I am, of course, as always, one of the hosts, and my name is Matt. Guess what, guys? My other host, his name is Matt as well. How you doing, Matt?
It's not exactly Matt. It's Matthew. But
Matthew, you left a syllable out.
Matthew. Yeah, I'll take Matt though for it.
And where is your ass in particular in relation to mine this episode?
So I have to do it now. I am about, what was it? How many leagues am I away from you? Because you're about what, like maybe 10 miles away from me, or like maybe 15.
Yeah, probably something like that. So how many leagues is that? That's a great question. I don't even know what a league is.
Oh, if you ever read Lord of the Rings, they always say like, oh, we're 10 leagues away from. So 1 league equals 3.4 miles. So if I'm like
5 leagues away,
I'm 3.4 leagues. Or I wonder how far I am away from you in terms of as the crow flies.
It's pretty close. It's much closer than the way you can actually go.
So,
or if you want to say it in Florida talk, you're 17 hollers.
17 hollers. And
yeah.
let's talk about fucking Florida, for instance, here. All right. So
do we have to?
And I mean, I know, you and me, we know all about this shit because we've been in Florida forever. But a lot of people don't know this about the wonderful state of Florida, that if you're traveling down 75 going past, I-4 and Brandon, there's that huge Confederate flag there, which I guess he just put the Confederate flag back up because it used to be like a different Confederate flag. It was like where it was all white and has this small Confederate symbol.
Yeah, there were so many of them. He put the Confederate battle flag back up, I think it is.
Yeah.
Which is, honestly, I think it's really hard to get flags that size, to be honest with you. And he just flies whatever one he has until it gets all threadbare. But man, that pisses people off, that flag, doesn't it?
Dude, it's crazy. I mean, I'm not saying I, support the Confederate flag or anything, but it's that guy's been doing it he's been doing it for as long as I can remember, like even being a kid and all that. He's been doing it for a long time. So
that's like some Confederate battlefield or something like that. It's like a historical landmark there, and it's privately owned. So this guy thinks it's his duty to protect it or whatever, and he flies like the most massive Confederate flag anybody's ever seen there. And yeah, anybody driving down I-4, you're subjected to it for sure.
And another great Florida, I mean, I wouldn't exactly call this a landmark, but you do see this, especially in the Tampa Bay area, is the one black guy who has the truck that has Confederate flags and the N-word plastered around his truck too.
Oh my God. Yeah. I don't see him as much anymore though as I used to.
That is true. But especially during election time, like during the whole Trump and Hillary thing, he was driving around everywhere.
Florida is a crazy place, people, is what we're getting at. It is messed up. And, all those stories you hear, mostly true. We're not all crazy here, but there's a good bit.
Yeah, I mean, don't be surprised if you ever find an alligator in your yard. I mean, it happens.
What, you mean a lizard?
Yeah.
I'm not worried about it. You mean a puddle lizard?
A puddle lizard. I love that name. Yeah. Yeah, especially if you go down bike trails and all that shit and there's some water sources nearby. Don't be surprised to see a bunch of alligators and shit.
Fucking Disney, bro. You can get bike eaters at Disney.
That's true.
There was some lady that got a snake fell down on Disney property onto like a toddler or like a carriage that had like a toddler in it, and like the grandma had a heart attack. She freaked out, and it happened on Disney property, and it was like this big thing. And like the most ignorant comments, Matt, were online were like, well, Disney has the money, they should be able to rid their entire property of snakes. There shouldn't be one anywhere on the property. I'm like, have you fucking been to Florida? Like, do you know how big Disney's property is? Like, there's no way. There's no fucking way. How about you're in Florida? You might see a snake.
That's like saying we need to get rid of all the snakes in the Everglades.
It's not going to happen. Like, most of Disney property is swamp and freaking forest. Like, how are you going to get rid of the snakes? How? People are dumb, Matt.
Burn it down, I guess.
burn it. Even now, there'd still be some.
And still be like, hey guys, thanks for heating it up for me. I enjoyed it.
Three things will live through the apocalypse in Florida: snakes, cockroaches, and alligators.
That is true. I mean, dude, they're fucking dinosaurs, man.
They kind of are like the closest thing we have, right?
And well, if you listen to Joe Rogan, chickens, they're like little fucking velociraptors, man.
Yeah, I mean, kinda.
And they kind of are. I mean, besides all that Florida talk,
Yeah.
dude. So, I did a bunch of yard work yesterday,
I'm sorry.
Yeah, I'm sorry too. So you know that part of like I guess the side of my yard, there's that it used to be a clearing, but it just started overgrowing and shit, and I was clearing that out with trimming down the freaking bushes that came out and the way I tried to especially clear it out was get the lawnmower in there when I got rid of all the big heavy stuff that was in the way and just try to clear it out. So, and then I asked for your help on how to get rid of some stumps that were in there because I've got 4 stumps there, and
did you do it?
I managed to get one out, and by the time I got one little fucking stump, if you look at the camera, it's like about that big or so. It's a small-ass little stump, and it took me, like close to an hour to get out, and I was exhausted. I'm like, holy fucking shit.
Dude, yeah. Dude. Yeah, I left that part out. I made it sound way easier than it actually was, by the way.
Yeah. I think the hardest part was just finding where the roots were, like where it was tied to the ground.
So Zuby texted me and asked me, or didn't ask me, but you're just saying you had to remove some stumps or whatever. And I was like, oh, dude, just shovel in an axe, bro. Get after it. Like it's no big deal.
So a funny thing about that was, I guess at one point there was that rubber guard thing, I guess, like you surround it in an area and it's like a little rubber.
Yeah.
And I guess there had been one there at one point because when I started digging around the stump, I found one. And of course there were and you can see all these roots that were growing alongside it. And I can tell just by digging that one spot, it's surrounding that entire rubber little thing. I don't even know what the hell you call it.
Grew over it and the dirt and everything.
Yeah. So like I said, I got the one stump out and I'm just like looking at this little shit. And then I look at the other 3 stumps and they're much bigger. And I'm like, motherfuck my life. And I haven't even cleaned up all the debris that's surrounding it because I'm just like I was exhausted by the time I got done with it, man.
Yeah, no doubt. I bet, man.
Yeah, but other than that, today I just been chilling out today because I was pretty wore out from yesterday and definitely got a little overheated because it's Florida. It's summertime. Pretty much.
Dude, summer's here, guys. It's February. Let's not fuck around. Summer's here. The only difference is the day isn't as long yet. Like, that's literally all that's going to change. Matt, I saw 98 degrees in my car the other day. 98.
Dude, I mean...
Can we get a break?
So, I will say the little cold that we did have was a little, not normal in terms of, like, how cold it actually got.
That's one way to put it.
And, I just have a really dreadful feeling that this summer is going to be not normal too. I mean, it was pretty bad last summer. Last summer was terrible.
And it was, dude. Last summer was brutal. Not to start the whole debate on global warming or whatever, but like, when we had a winter like we did this time around, where we actually kind of had a winter, it kind of makes you think like, no, we're going to be all right. And then when it's February 25th and it's 98 degrees outside, you're like, oh, no, I was wrong. We fucked.
Yeah, we done goofed. We're done.
Yeah.
Oh, dude, it was bad yesterday. And friggin' all I did today was just really relax, play some games, watch Star Trek, and finished reading The Disaster Artist.
That sounds like a badass day, dude. You finished that, huh?
Yep. What about...
That's the book. Whoa, sorry, guys. Yeah.
Whoa. Oh, my God. Feedback.
I know, it's my phone on Twitch.
Oh, no.
Sorry, guys. I fixed it.
Oh,
no. Yeah, so to clarify, that is the book of the movie, correct?
Yeah, that is the book that just details, like, what it was like working on The Room and all that, and holy shit, man.
Gotcha.
Just fucking insane. But I want to get into that a little bit later. What about you? What have you been up to this weekend?
Let's see. Yesterday, what the frig did we do yesterday? So we went out to Melissa's little brother came and stayed with us this weekend. He's cool. He's a gamer. Yeah,
Yeah.
actually, dude, he got a pretty boss ass freaking gaming laptop, by the way.
Oh, nice.
Um, yeah, he hasn't had a PC for quite a long time, and I guess his dad, Melissa's dad, got him, really nice one or whatever. He's high school age, I think he's in ninth grade,
Yeah.
and he ain't had a PC for a long time. He's a big gamer, so his dad hooked him up, dude. Let me tell you, he's got one of those HP
Nice.
Omen gaming laptops, dude. It's got the what is it the and what's the SSIDs or SSDs? They're can't I think of it right now? But the solid state drives, fuck, it's all the rage right now, Matt. Why can't I think of it?
Oh, the M2 or whatever?
Yeah, the M2. It's got that.
Yeah.
It's got like this 20-inch or 19-inch, 1440p, 120 hertz monitor built in. It's a 1060 overclocked video card in it. I mean, dude,
Damn.
it's no joke, man. And
That's
so
nice.
I was helping him out with that and all those things. So he came over, and him and Aiden were playing Diablo together like all weekend. And we went to eat dinner yesterday with Melissa's dad and her grandparents, on her dad's parents, essentially. And that was nice. Today, my mom's birthday is on Tuesday. Holler, Mom. Happy birthday.
Holla,
Holla at your birthday. My mom's birthday's on Tuesday. And if I'm honest, Matt, I waited a little too long last year to meet up with her for her birthday. So really knocked it out by getting it done. So we had her over and I grilled for her, and we did like a little birthday thing for her today. And that's really
that's
all we've
good.
been doing this weekend.
That's
I
good.
gamed a little bit late last night. I finally got the game on the PSP, but I'll talk about that in a little while.
Yeah, man. So I guess we're going to get into what we've been playing, aka doing now.
AKA what my life is about. Yeah.
Yeah.
We can do that. Yeah, go right ahead, Matt. If you want to start off,
Yeah,
we can do a back and forth or something if you want.
Well, I'm going to be pretty short here. I haven't been playing as much as you. I've only been playing Civilization 6. I talked about it in the last episode, right? I think so.
Pretty sure you did. Yeah.
Yeah, okay, yeah, I just had to look up the notes for last week. So yeah, so I've been playing way more Civilization 6, and something happened to one of my campaigns when I was right at the end of doing a science victory campaign, and
Okay.
so I've had this happen to me once before with the game, and I thought, oh, maybe it was just a glitch or something. And
Okay.
I went to go close out the game because I was done. I was on like turn 420 out of 500, and it crashed on me. My Windows OS crashed, and I think it has to do with something where when you play the game, you have two choices. You can play just regular Civilization 6, or you can play Civilization 6 and whatever the latest DirectX is. I don't remember what version, but
12, I think, is the newest. Does it really
Yeah.
support 12?
yeah.
Holy shit.
So I've been playing it in DirectX 12, and it crashed on me once when I was exiting. So when it crashed a second time, when I was in the middle of this freaking long ass campaign that I've been playing, it corrupted my save file, and
Oh,
I couldn't go back to it. And I was
is
like,
there no cloud save in that?
no.
Oh, balls, dude. That's
And-
really terrible, man.
Yeah, I mean, it sucked. I was pretty pissed, but I'm like, okay, let me just start a new game. And I've been starting a new game, and I'm playing America right now. I just built New York. I've got Philadelphia, New York, and Washington D.C.
It's all
And
them Yankee towns.
yeah. And I think I'm gonna try to do a dominance victory where I just freaking own everybody in the world.
So, like, when you have to restart because you a lost save or whatever the case may be in a video game, it can go like one or two ways. Like, it can go either the way you went, where you just start over and you take it with stride and you do things a little better and you probably don't make some of the same mistakes and
Yeah.
everything's good. Or it goes the other way where you try to start over and you're just so fucking far behind or just don't care, like, and you just say, fuck it, you never touch the game again. So, I'm glad that it wasn't number two for you.
Yeah, I mean, it does suck. That the great thing with the game is it's sort of like playing a board game, right?
Right,
You
right.
know, when you're done playing the board game, you can go back to it and play it a different way, in a sense, depending on what kind of board game it is.
Gotcha.
That's the best way to describe this kind of game, and it's such a good game. It's so deep, and I'm this this next campaign I'm playing right now, I did read up a little bit of strategy and some tips that I should do, and it's working out better for me, but there's just so much more that I don't even know with this game, and it's just super deep.
Yeah, dude, you're making me want it, but dude, man. I'm gonna have to go with like 4 or 5 or something first to make sure that I want to spend the money on that new one, man, because they ain't giving it away. I'm not gonna lie, they ain't giving it away.
If you get 4 or 5, dude, I'm down with playing, because I've got 3, 4, and 5 on Steam, and 1 and 2 are free. So, but it's hard to go back to 1 and 2. I actually downloaded, what was it, 2, and even though I never played it before, it was just like, oh, this is pretty tough to go back to. It's sort of like trying to go back to Warcraft 1 and 2, where it's like, oh shit, because you can easily go back to Warcraft 3, but 1 and 2, that's pretty hard. That's pretty hard to do.
So Aiden started messing around. He just was seeing what games he could get for free, and he started messing around with Starcraft 2, but like super like basic. And man, that shit is, I mean, I know it's still played and everything, but boy, it does show its age. I'll tell you that for sure.
Yeah, it's I mean, what, the game came out 2010 now, and it does show its age, but dude, it's still freaking popular. It's not. I do miss the days of when it was the number one esport before League of Legends started getting into play and all that. And I feel like those were the glory years of StarCraft 2, but now it's a shell of its former self at this point.
I mean, and so is life, you know. Nothing lasts forever.
Yeah, very true.
So we were actually, one thing I left out is we were at the mall yesterday, and Matt, it made me think of you. I saw another game that you were playing for a while. It was Stardew Valley. Not for the Switch, though. I saw it for PlayStation and all that. And your recommendations still stand. I should get that on the Switch. Have you played that at all either?
Yes. No. This week has just been nothing but Civilization 6. I've got like, what, 15 hours into it now.
True.
So yeah, it's been nothing but Civ right now, and it probably will be like that for a little bit, because I don't really have a desire to play anything right now. I've been reading books like insanely lately.
It's kind of cool.
Yeah. Maybe.
Well, maybe. No, it's all good. I think it's interesting that you read the book about a movie, that it was a movie that was made about a movie. It's like It's like book movieception.
Book movieception. So yeah, I want to talk about The Disaster Artist real quick. So
sure.
I know we talked about when I watched the movie before, the Disaster Artist movie. So the book, the Disaster Artist movie is loosely based on the book, The Disaster Artist. I mean, they do a really good job, you know, coinciding with the book and about a lot of the stories that happen. But the movie takes a little bit of a different turn compared to the book. So the book is more of a retelling of Greg Sestero, who plays the character Mark in The Room, and about what his experience was like with Tommy Wiseau, and, you know, meeting him and doing The Room.
Which has to be a trip.
Dude, I need to watch The Room again, because I've already seen it like 3 or 4 times, but I need to watch the movie again after reading this book. And because he goes into details about what it was like doing certain scenes and how terrible Tommy Wiseau is in terms of just acting, directing, and producing. And it'll make you look at that movie in a different light. So you've never seen The Disaster Artist or The Room yet, right?
No, just clips. I've seen like all the most common clips from The Room.
Yeah. So what I recommend that you do, and you have to do this so you understand, you have to watch The Room first.
Right.
And then go and watch The Disaster Artist. And then I really, really recommend reading the book, The Disaster Artist. It's a pretty short book. It's only like 260 pages. And I
saw it. It didn't, when you had it, it didn't look anything major at all. Some light reading, quote unquote.
Yeah. And it's, it just really opened your mind into, you know, the bizarreness of Tommy Wiseau, and it also goes to show there is some endearing qualities about Tommy Wiseau too, that regardless of how hard it was for him to make that movie, The Room, he eventually freaking made it, and look at the cult phenomena backing behind it now. I mean, that movie is still played every month in theaters in like New York, London, and LA.
So speaking of that, there's a new movie that he's doing that's going to start airing in select theaters next month. I saw. Did you see
Yeah.
that?
Yeah, I think it's called Best Friends.
Yeah, Best Friends, exactly right. Which,
Yeah.
man, I wonder. I don't know anything about it. Do you?
No, I don't really know much about it. I
I'm
just know.
wondering if it's all him again, or if he got like any help. Now that he's friends with actual people that make movies.
Yeah, I don't know.
Yeah, I'm looking
curious.
it up right now as well. Best Friends movie. It just showed up in my stream, so I don't know. We'll see. Best Friends.
Oh yeah, it's actually coming out next month.
Yeah, they're gonna have. It's only gonna be like in select theaters, I believe. Yeah. So I don't know, but anyways, so he's got something else in the works, so that's pretty cool. I mean, it's probably gonna be terrible.
Well, I mean, I think it's to be expected because it's Tommy Wiseau, and it's like I said, man, seeing that movie, The Room, you think, oh, okay, this is just a really bad, funny movie, but no, there's a lot more. There's a lot more story behind making that movie than just it's a bad movie. It was a very funny book. There were times in that book that I was literally laughing out loud, and I just had to put it down. Just
That's pretty awesome.
The insanity of it, and
so that's crazy that The Room was from 2003,
Yep.
and The Disaster Artist is 2017. So it took 14 years for that thing to really come to light and become kind of popular. That's crazy.
Well, I mean, The Room has been popular because that book was written in 2009. I think it was.
Oh shit! Okay.
Yeah. So the movie already had a cult following at that point.
Right.
And I mean, it's been because I remember seeing clips of The Room like a long time. I just never watched it or anything.
Gotcha.
And it wasn't until when The Disaster Artist like first had a trailer back during last summer is when I actually decided to watch The Room and all that. And then I was so hyped for Disaster Artist because it looked like such a good movie. And
anything Franco and that whole crew does is it's going to at least be hilarious minimum. Yeah.
Yeah, and The Disaster Artist was really good, and I liked the way what they did with the story because they really focused more on the friendship between Tommy and Greg was the key point of it. Even though the book does dive into their friendship, there's a lot of other parts to it as well that aren't ever shown in the movie, but it's insanity, man. It was just a good, and I recommend, watching. Like, hell, you and I'd even watch The Room with you because it's just such a funny experience and such a.
I know, man. I'm slacking. I need to do that.
Such a crazy experience too, because you'll watch this and be like, "Who thought this was a good idea?"
Sweet. What I need to do, man, is I need to give you a thumb drive so that you can give it to me so I don't have to get anxiety about giving my computer AIDS.
Yeah,
because that's honestly what's stopping me.
Yeah, bring that tomorrow, man, and I'll give it to you. I'll give you the AIDS free version.
Thank you, sir. Thank you, kind sir.
No, but what?
I was just gonna say I just get serious anxiety every time I go to get on a torrent website on my PC. I mean, when I go to legally purchase movies, I just get worried about their security that they have on their websites and my shit getting stolen. Right?
I'm just at this point, I just don't give a fuck, man. Just like, whatever. I mean, what are they gonna take my ones of cents that I have?
I know, right? Well, they'll mess you up pretty good, but as long as you're not redistributing it for money.
Oh yeah, I mean, well, think about it. We all got hacked anyway with that Equifax hack. So
yeah, good point.
So,
Very good point.
Our credit's already in the shitter anyway, so fuck it. But that has been it for me, man. It seems like you've done way more stuff than I have lately.
You think I have? I haven't. I don't have any amount of time into anything that's on my list, but maybe you can chime in as well as you. There's pretty much. I think there's only one game you may not have played on that list, but first, before I get into games, though, let me just talk about movies. I saw a meh movie.
Meh.
Yeah, Justice League became available this week or last week, and we went ahead and bought it. And, you know, I don't want to say it's a bad movie. It's not. It's just there's too many, and this is so cliche, and this is what everybody was kind of saying, but it's true. There's too many characters and their backstories and what's going on with them currently crammed into it, and I feel like they left a lot out. Like I feel like a lot was probably cut out of that movie.
Oh yeah, you can definitely tell, and that was one of the things that was a huge issue. I mean, compare that to the Avengers, where the four main Avengers had all their own separate movies before they made that Avengers movie, right?
Right. No, yeah, absolutely.
And that's where Justice League is really weak in. And go on.
No, you know, one thing I like to say about Avengers too, you could watch Avengers having not seen the other movies with their backstories, which is also kind of interesting. Like, although it definitely helps and I prefer it, the way they went about Avengers, you could watch that not knowing anything and just jump into it and you could enjoy that movie. Justice League, they tried to do that, but they just, I don't know, man, they just seem to have fallen short. And like the ending of it and like the end battle and everything wasn't really that great. I don't know, like I'll give it like a, you know, so if we're on the yellow SNES rating system, you know, I give it 2.5 out of 5. It's not terrible, but it's nothing great. You know what I mean? It's kind of middle of the road. I mean, don't spend money on it like I did. That's stupid.
Oh man. I mean, I guess I enjoyed it way more because I had zero expectations going into it. And I thought it was going to be an absolutely terrible movie, but I surprisingly enjoyed it way more than I thought I would. And I think a lot of it had to do with Jason Momoa's portrayal of Aquaman. He was, because you got to remember, Aquaman in the comics, and especially in the old cartoon shows of Justice League, no one fucking liked Aquaman, all right?
Aquaman is kind of a bitch.
He was a bitch and he was lame. All right, lame as fuck. I mean, I'm sorry for all you Aquaman fans out there if I'm offending you, but you got he was lame. Like
no, he was. I'm with you on that.
A good example of this is compare Iron Man and Thor before the movies started. No one ever fucking liked Iron Man before Robert Downey Jr. played him, and no one ever liked Thor before Chris Hemsworth played him. Those movies made those two characters cool. No one liked bitch-ass Thor. He was so fucking boring and holier than thou, and no one liked bitch-ass Iron Man either. He was like...
No, that's true.
No one ever wanted to play Iron Man when you were playing Avengers when you were a kid.
No, well, they were, you know, they were second-rate characters, too. They were B-stories.
To Captain America and shit. Yeah. Captain America was the shit. And then you had, you know, Wolverine, you know?
Yep, absolutely.
But
I just, you know, I had hopes about nothing in that movie except for Aquaman, and I feel like we didn't get enough. I think Aquaman, that dude did a great job.
Yeah.
He's got, you know, he's kind of an asshole, this and that, you know, I feel like that Aquaman needed a movie. Before this. I do, and I think it would be better than this movie. And, you know, because not all the DC stuff is bad, and I'm not saying this is bad, but I was disappointed because the only thing I was looking forward to was fucking Aquaman. And there wasn't enough of it. And he's kind of cheesy towards the end and like the battle. Like he's kind of getting...
My man!
My man! When he gets thrown, yeah.
That was the best. I loved it.
It was funny, but it's just like he was secondary and, you know, it had to be all about Superman and Batman fucking finishing shit off. And it's like, I don't care. You know what I mean? Like it's... I don't know. So I was let down for the only part I had my hopes up for. You know, it is what it is. I'll watch it again just to make sure I'm not missing anything, but
no, and I see where you're going with it, and that's why when I first watched the movie, I when I left the theater, I was like, you know, I could have sat there for another hour if they had fully fleshed out more of like Cyborg, Aquaman, and the Flash.
Yeah,
you know, I would have been fine with it, but then I compare that to a movie like Thor Ragnarok and I wanted to leave the fucking theater. But I felt like it couldn't end soon enough because I was just bored to tears. And same with Star Wars Episode 8. It's like I couldn't wait to fucking leave, you know?
So I want to speak to Thor because we watched it today while my mom was over because she hadn't seen it yet.
Yeah.
And she made a really good point that kind of made me go, and stop hating on Thor as much. Now, I I enjoy the humor in the Thor movie. Like if that's just how Thor always was, it would be probably acceptable. But
Mm-hmm.
because all the other ones were very serious and everything, it was kind of shitty to see so much humor in the new movie. But
Yep.
my mom made an amazing point, Matt, is that she's like, isn't it like she said something to the effect of like it's the progression of his character, like he's been on Earth and he's starting to get like an Earth mentality and the humility of the humans and things like that, and he's becoming more human. And this movie would, and granted it still probably took it a little too far, but that's true actually. If you think about it, he would have changed a bit, living on Earth and being amongst everybody, and he, did they take it too far? I think so, but
Yeah, they really did.
it's not as bad, and it is kind of a progression of his character. If you watch it as a standalone movie, as just something, you want some laughs and some useless action, it's good. It's no 4 out of 5 or anything. Like I'd put it down there at the 3 mark. It's a little bit better than Justice League in my opinion, but only just, tiny. But that's just me. Some people might like it the other way around, but I don't think it's a great movie. Melissa loves it though. She loves Thor.
Yeah.
She thinks that movie Ragnarok is the shit, and it is funny as hell.
It's funny. I'm not saying it wasn't or anything.
But you're saying it's not how he should be, though. Like that's not how a Thor movie should be. I'm with you.
It's not only that. The thing that really got me about that movie was even though I didn't like all the humor in it, I was enjoying all the scenes with Thor and Hulk and all that. But anytime they moved over to the bad guy, the whatever her name was, I wanted to tear my eyeballs out because it was so boring.
Not the best, most captivating villain. I agree.
No,
Absolutely.
I mean, and she had the chance of being interesting because that was Thor's sister.
Right.
And she turned out to be boring, generic bad guy of the week.
Generic is definitely the best way to put that.
And I felt like that movie was way too long as well, too. It should have been
pretty long,
20 minutes shorter. Whereas, like Justice League, I wouldn't have minded another hour in that movie.
I would completely agree with that. Same exact as you. Jeff Goldblum killed it in Thor, though. He's hilarious.
Yeah, that was pretty funny, and
that's perfect for him.
And of course, once again, I love Tom Hiddleston as Loki in it. He kills it.
He always kills it. Yeah.
Yeah. But what the one downside to that movie though is we're never going to see Hulk Planet, because that's the planet where the Hulk actually amasses an army and starts to fuck shit up, and we're never going to see that now.
It was that planet.
Yeah. And I mean, I can understand why they're never going to do that movie, because the Hulk himself isn't a very good main character.
No, he's pretty shallow. He's pretty one-dimensional.
Yeah. So, but I mean, it was Thor Ragnarok was a decent movie overall. Not one of my favorite Marvel movies, and and I still haven't seen Black Panther yet, and everybody's saying it's really good, but I'm still worried that it's going to be that same Marvel mentality of we're going to see the same exact thing but just different characters. And
I think they marveled it too, Matt. I'm kind of worried that it's a shitload of hype. I'm in that same boat with you. I'm gonna see it and I'm gonna judge it fairly, but I think they marveled it. I really do.
Yeah, and I mean, I guess that's to be expected. I mean, it's not like these movies are deep or anything. I mean, they're comic book movies.
Good point. Graphic novel.
Yeah.
Well, I guess not graphic novel technically, but
no.
Well, so isn't it? So what the next movie coming out is the Avengers.
Yeah.
And that's gonna be it, right? Like that's the end of all these stories.
No, because it's gonna be that Avengers movie. Then there's gonna be an Ant-Man movie after that. So, but this was technically supposed to be part 1 of Infinity War, and I don't know if they're changing that. But all I have to say is in this Infinity War movie, and spoilers, Thanos better destroy half of the universe like he does in the comics.
Well, I thought that was the point, that after Infinity War, like that's going to be it. Like just, you know, they're going to reboot everything. So unless there's 2 Infinity Wars, so then maybe after that one they will.
Hopefully, because, you know, it would be nice for them to end it. And, you know, it'll be something that hasn't been done in movie history, and it'll be cool.
But who's going to be Iron Man?
Hopefully, I don't know, Joaquin Phoenix or something, or Zac Efron. I don't know.
Yeah, it probably will be Zac Efron.
Justin Bieber. I don't know any of these younger actors or anything. Or maybe
What if they just rearranged all the different actors and made them play different superheroes? So like you get like Ryan Reynolds is not Deadpool, you get him as somebody else, and you know.
Ryan Reynolds is Green Lantern, and
Oh wait, he did that.
Ben Affleck will be Daredevil, and Chris Evans will be the Human Torch.
Ew.
Or the Human Flame, whatever the fuck the Fantastic
Yeah, it's
Four.
like is the talent pool not deep enough for these movies that they have to pull this bullshit?
I'm sure there is. It's just
Man.
we don't know how it all goes. But
Whatever. All right. Anyways, back to games. That's enough Marvel DC hate that we're spewing.
yeah.
Anyway, so video games. So a couple things. I did play Fortnite on 2 different occasions this week.
Oh shit.
Yeah, so I played with EJ and his buddies Cody and Eric. So we had a full Fortnite squad on the X-Bone, and a lot of fun. Something interesting, like the day after or 2 days after we played, they came out with an update for the X-Bone Fortnite that supposedly makes the graphics smoother, makes the game run more efficiently. So all that bitching I was doing, according to EJ, has been fixed. So I'm going to try that out this week and see if that's true. I also played Fortnite on the PS4 with Vic, who was on the show last week. And the update to the PS4 version of Fortnite did bring it closer to within spec of PC, as in it's much smoother looking. The graphics are a little bit improved. It's still running 30 frames a second. It's not doing 60 on PS4, but it still looks good. Other than that, it's on par with the PC version. So we played that a bit. Vic is, I don't think he's played quite as much as I have. So he was kind of trying to do a little bit of the shit you were trying to do, where you want to go to like hot zones and stuff a little bit. We had to tone it down a scotch. But it's good. We got a couple kills in, nothing major. We didn't do anything that great. It was just duos. But it's all right. So anyways, I'll report back if the X-Bone version of Fortnite is fixed this week, and we'll see how that goes.
Okay.
Another thing, I have been playing more Shadow Warrior. Again, that game from way back in the day. And the one that we found that was free a couple episodes ago, and I finally turned the difficulty down. That game, it was pissing me off pretty bad.
I still need to try it out.
It's cool. Go to the so there's 4 difficulty levels. Go to the second one from the lowest, and just sit there. It'll be fine, at least for you to play around and just screw off.
Yeah.
It's a little too hard when you turn it up, because it's just you make very little progress and then die, and the game doesn't autosave. You have to save. It's it's old school. So if you don't save, you have to fucking redo a bunch of really hard shit.
Whoa! No autosave. What is this? What is this archaicness? I don't know.
You have to save yourself. Like you have to do it. It's crazy. You can save any time though, which is cool. Which is different for a game of that era too. You can save at any second that you want. You can essentially, you could be in the middle of getting killed and save, and you'll come right back to your death. So it's cool as far as that goes. It's really neat. Like the graphics are really fucking terrible. I want to say it's like, what is it, 800 by 600 or something like that is what it was made for, which was quote unquote a high res monitor.
Damn,
back in
I
the
remember
day.
that shit.
Yeah, so it does remind you of some, PlayStation 1-esque pixelation looking shit, but not terrible by any means. Good for the time. I mean, it's no better or worse than Duke Nukem, I would say. One thing that messed me up on that game, so I'm not used to water not being transparent. How it isn't, like you could see through the water in games now, like you can tell what's underneath the water. And when your character Wang, when he goes into the water, he automatically is swimming, but it feels just like he's walking. So I just thought the water was really shallow, and I was getting stuck, couldn't figure out what I was doing, and I crouched down, and next thing you know, I'm underwater. And then there's like a whole area. So one thing we forget, or that I forgot rather, I'm sorry, I shouldn't say we, but that I forgot about, that old games, they didn't, that old, they really didn't have transparent water dialed in. So
when the hell did that start coming about?
Man, I don't know. It's got to be like Super Mario on the 64 or something, somewhere in that era, if I had to guess, but I really truly don't know. But yeah, those ID games from the Duke Nukem Shadow Warrior era, they did, when you go underwater, it just puts like a blue tint over everything to make it look like you're in water or whatever, you know?
Oh yeah.
But yeah, so that was kind of fucking with me, and then that opened up a whole new world of things. You can get to secrets and see things. But yeah, I had no idea. I just thought it was shallow water and I was walking around. But no, he's swimming. So that was something to experience from older games. So that was cool. So yeah, I've been playing that. That's a really fun game that, like, if you're just fucking off, or like I was on the phone sitting on my computer desk, and you can just fire it up and mindlessly just shoot things, like, and fuck around. That's a really good game for that. So
I'll try it out one day, maybe.
check it out if you think about it, bro. It's cool. It's cool. Let's see. I have played PUBG, Matt. I did.
Uh-oh.
Yeah. Even though I bitched about all the cheating and all that, like, I just really wanted to play it for some reason. So I played probably about 6 games or so this week. Played it a bit. That's good for roughly, 3 hours, something like that, of gameplay, total gameplay. And I came in 5th as the best I did. One thing that's interesting is it's defaulting me to the Asian servers.
Sounds about right.
I mean, it doesn't matter. I mean, you're going to get destroyed by,
anyway,
China #1, no matter what server you're on. But I just thought that was weird that it keeps doing that, and I can't figure it out. But yeah, so I played in there. Had some good stuff. I got some kills. I got murked a lot. It's same old PUBG. There's really nothing changed. I don't think anybody cheated to kill me. Like, all my kills this week playing it were clean. I can say that maybe they've cleaned the cheating up a little bit. I don't know. But to me, I don't think I got any cheap kills. I watched all my kill cams and everything seemed fair. I just suck. So but yeah, PUBG's there. Played it. What else? So last night, I just didn't know what I wanted to play, and Aiden and George, Melissa's brother, were in the game room, and I didn't want to bother them or kick them out or anything. And I'm just like, man, I want a game. I'm like, do I want to play the PlayStation? What do I want to do? It's like, you know what? I'm gonna bust out the PSP. I can chill on the couch, just have something in my hand, and I busted out this little gem called Pursuit Force. Have you ever played that, Matt?
Nope. I'm gonna have to. I saw you put it on our Instagram. I need to look that up.
Yeah, I don't know. Check it out. I don't know if that was ever ported to anything else. I'm pretty sure it was developed for the PSP. It's just because some of the way the controls are when you're shooting, they were designed to kind of accommodate you not having 2 joysticks. It opts for a targeting system. Like, you can use one of the shoulder buttons to change your target, and it'll shoot at it automatically. But dude, it's such a weird game. It's like, it's a driving game. It's a driving and shooting game. It's a kind of a crappy shooter.
What the fuck is this? I'm watching a video of it right now.
It's a jump from car to car on the freeway and take over whatever car you want. Like, it's really fucking cool, especially for the PSP. Like, if you just want something that's challenging enough and kind of fun and interesting and different, it really is. It's like 3 or 4 games in one, and somehow they marry it together to work. And it's like super cheesy. Like, you gotta like, there's all these different groups of bad guys that you're trying to defeat. You got like the classic mob, and then you got like the Asian mob, and then you got like the commandos, which are like, some type of militant group or whatever, and you got to like take them all down.
This looks really interesting, actually.
Dude, the cool thing is it's like a $7 or $8 game. Like, it's never even like under glass when you go to game stores. It's just sitting out there. Like, I see it all the time, and it's pretty fucking fun.
Oh shit! And I have a PSP. I could actually get this.
Yeah, you do, dude, and it's dirt cheap. It's dirt cheap, and it's worth it. There's tons of gameplay there, especially if you want something. You don't want to, get balls deep into a story. You just want to shoot some shit or mess around or whatever.
So it is a good pick-me-up type game?
Oh, yeah. You can pick it up and leave it anytime you want. The Pursuit Force part of it is really interesting because it's not only the title and kind of like, but it's you get this you get like this pursuit meter thing for doing good things, like not killing civilians and shit, and killing guys like how you should, and it fills up. And what's cool is when it fills up, you can spend it, and it'll repair the your health and your vehicle's health.
Oh shit!
Right, so it kind of gives you a chance to kind of keep going. And
so is it a
it.
free roaming type game, or
no? It's crazy linear.
Oh, okay.
There's a couple of areas where you can walk around and shoot, but like I said, it's you select your target. You don't really have to worry about aiming very much.
Yeah.
But you do have the choice to not murk somebody if you don't want to. You actually get more justice points if you I think that's what it's called, justice, maybe. Pursuit points, justice, I don't know. But to fill your meter up, you can actually handcuff dudes. Like you can take them into custody when you're in those stages and shit. So yeah, it's a really odd game. I think I was like,
yeah, where did you hear about this? Or?
So like a year ago, I was like at night, I was like watching YouTube, and I was on Metal Jesus's channel, and he did a Let's Play of it with him and a dude named Reggie, I think, and they were playing it. And I was like, damn, this actually isn't terrible. This looks like fun. And he's like, oh, and it's like a hidden gem because it's his term or whatever.
Yeah.
He's like, it's only like $7. And I'm like, wait, what? Because all the games he always puts up or plays, they're like crazy rare, and somebody gave it to him, and you're never going to find it. So, I was like, all right, I'll keep that in mind. And a few weeks later, we were at a game store, the wife, Melissa's brother, and Aiden, and there it was on the shelf for like $7.88 or something like that.
Oh shit!
So I grabbed it, and yeah, the PSP, Matt, is kind of a system to be collecting for right now. There's not a whole lot that's crazy expensive right now on it. There are some that are getting up there, but for the most part, even the most expensive games that you're going to like want are like $20-$30. They're not that bad. And there's tons of it. People are giving that shit away. So, yeah, there's my top tip of the week is, start getting PSP stuff. Cause, I'm sure that's going to start changing tides pretty soon.
Yeah. It's my PSP collection is so sad. I've only got Final Fantasy VII Crisis Core and Final Fantasy Tactics, which it is a terrible port, by the way. The Tactics one. Yeah, it's so bad. It's slow.
I've got that Crisis Core as well. How do you feel about that?
From what I've played of it, I've only played like maybe 2 or 3 hours of it. It's not bad. It's a weird battle system, and I didn't like how linear it was, but I mean, it's not a bad game.
I'll have to check it out. It's been sitting on the shelf collecting dust.
Yeah.
It seems involved, and the last time I tried to get involved on the PSP was Monster Hunter, and it just wasn't a fun experience.
Dude, the new Monster Hunter looks so good.
It does look awesome.
I want to play it so bad.
I know. I keep debating it. But, I think I'm going to hold off, though, because we got like Far Cry coming out next month.
Oh, shit. That's right.
Yeah, like a month from today, I think. So I don't know that I need to jump into Monster Hunter or not.
Yeah. I'm probably going to hold off too.
It looks phenomenal, dude. It looks good as hell.
I say maybe I'll wait till Christmas time, but then Red Dead's going to be out by then. And
we're going to be so deep in Red Dead, dude. Yeah. No. Yeah. What else is coming out? What am I forgetting? Something else is coming out, and it's coming out soon.
God of War comes out in June.
God of War. Okay. So it's going to be a good year for gaming, man. We're going to get a lot of good games.
I hope so. I mean,
me too.
The Switch seems kind of lacking. I mean, I know we're going to get Yoshi and Kirby. Kirby comes out soon, but I'm just not that excited about either of those games, honestly.
I'm excited for that Project Octopath Traveler.
Oh, that's right. I forgot all about that. When's that supposed to come out?
It just says 2018.
Oh, shit. That's right. Fuck.
Have
you played the demo of it yet?
No, did you?
Yeah, the demo it feels like you're playing old school Final Fantasy.
So it's good then.
Oh, yeah.
Ooh, okay. I'll get the demo. I'll report back next episode. I'll play that this week.
Yeah, does that I didn't play the demo all the way through. I just because I want to keep a lot of stuff surprise. I just really wanted to try out the movement system and the combat system, and then I deleted it after that. And that was only like 30 minutes. But yeah, just try it.
But so far, it's got the Zubatron seal of approval.
So far, I mean, more so than Xenoblade right now.
You're still not ready to go back into that, huh?
No, I need to, like I said last week, it's I need to really just sit down and figure out how to play the game. Like, I need to dive into some, army manuals and shit.
Damn.
Yeah.
Damn. Yeah, well, maybe you'll jump back into it.
Maybe. I don't know.
But yeah, so that's really it for me on games, Matt. I can't think. I think I might have messed around. Oh, I play with Mega Maker. Nothing to note. I just fucked around for a minute. I still hate it. It's hard as fuck. All the levels everybody makes is.
Did you ever play
impossible.
my level?
Yeah.
Okay. I think I only ever made
I don't
one.
remember it because it was a long ass time ago. But yeah, I played it.
Okay.
Yep.
Did you ever make a level?
Nothing worth uploading.
Oh,
just
okay.
Fucked around. Honestly, I just more played everybody's. Just kind of.
True.
I don't know, man. I wasn't feeling creative. Wasn't feeling it.
True. I don't blame you.
I think it's easy to do. Like, I don't think it's a problem with the software. I just wasn't feeling making a Mega Man level. You ever get that feeling? You just don't want to. I don't know. I got like that with Mario Maker sometimes too. Like, I don't feel like doing this right now.
Yeah, there were just times I didn't feel like lifing, so.
Make it really depressing.
Yeah. So I know exactly what you mean.
Good. So, let's see, Matt. We have got some news. This is almost like a news special episode, isn't it?
Yeah. For sure. You want to start off with the first story?
Sure. Mega Man Legacy Collection 1 and 2 out for the Switch on May 22nd. How cool is that?
Which I'm still debating whether or not I want to pick it up for the Switch because I already beat Legacy Collection 1 on PS4. I didn't do any of the challenges because I don't really give a shit about any of that. Like,
right.
That stuff, because all they do is like they'll make you replay certain levels of Mega Man, but hey, we're making it harder. Hey, you got to play it backwards. I'm like, I don't fucking care about that,
Because Mega Man needs to be harder.
Yeah, I know, right? And I'm more than halfway done with Legacy Collection 2. I just have 9 and 10 left. So,
God, dude, you're fucking killing it on the Mega Mans, bro.
I know.
Holy shit.
So it's, in one hand, I mean, if I ever want to go back and play Mega Man again, I'm probably definitely going to pick it up for the Switch just for the portability. But I just wanted to put it in there because this means that Mega Man 11 is going to be coming out soon this year. And then you got the Mega Man X Legacy Collection coming out as well.
That is what I'm stoked for.
I know. I can't wait.
So how do you feel about this new Mega Man Collection 1 and 2 coming out on Switch, but it's not going to be a physical copy?
Oh, it's not?
No. Download code.
That's seriously? I thought it was going to be...
At least Legacy Collection 2 is a download code. I know that for sure. I don't know about 1.
Okay, I don't like it now. I really had no idea it was not going to be physical. Why not, though? That doesn't make any sense.
Yeah, I don't... Hold on, I'm going to look... Let me see if I can find anything else about it. But I heard the second one is a download code.
Not a fan.
May 22nd. Download
Not
only.
a fan at all.
But adding download only and a $10 premium when you buy it. Not buying this, yeah. So, let's see. Legacy Collection 2 is not a promise.
So when I look at the Switch case, it says internet download required, micro SD card may be required for it.
So it's a download code in the box is what it is.
Okay, I don't like it.
Yeah,
I'm not its friend anymore.
You got these on PlayStation already though, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, so fuck it. I picked them up on Xbox.
Did you get the second one too?
Yeah, I have them both.
Yeah, I'm not a fan at all.
They play fine on the modern consoles though. I will say that. I mean, it's Mega Man. I don't like using the joystick, the analog sticks. Do you? They work fine. I just don't like it. It doesn't feel right.
For Mega Man 8, I didn't mind it, but for all the others, I had to use the D-pad.
Yeah, the D-pad is for sure the move. It's not as precise because you're not hitting directly straight down. Like sometimes it thinks you're hitting down and over and shit. Yeah. Let's see. Even on Mega Maker on the PC, like I'm using the D-pad. Like I don't. It's not right with an analog stick. Let's see. So Mega Man's coming to the Switch, and we're gonna get the X collection, which I'm really excited for. Those are some of the.
I mean, I don't know if I want to get it on the Switch now. If it's going to be something similar, where it's just going to be download codes and shit, I'm going to be piecing the fuck out and just getting it on PS4 at that point.
All right, so a while back, the ESRB was gonna make all games, like even like the independent developers, if they want to release a physical copy, like you're gonna have to pay to get them rated. Did you hear about that?
No.
Yeah, it's gonna like really negatively affect like limited run games and stuff like that because they haven't factored that cost in. Yeah, so I wonder if we're starting to see the effects of that. Is that they're not wanting to submit as much to the ESRB, so they're just and paying the fees, so they're just going to do a lot more digital now because of that.
Well, fuck.
Yeah, I don't get it, man. I don't get it at all.
So lame, man.
So, yep, that's where we're living in. Physical's going away, and I'm not fighting progression, Matt. When I say I don't want a download copy, I have tons of download. You are? Is that what you
said? I want physical only.
I'm not that hardcore about it, but my concern is this, and this year has been a great example of this between the hurricanes and the storms and the power outages and shit like that. Man, without internet, you are fucked if you don't have a physical copy.
Pretty much. Yeah.
And like, I know a lot of physical copies are even just a license to run it, but like you can play PlayStation and Xbox games without an internet connection. Even though you only need the disc in to authorize you to play it, it's still on the hard drive.
Yeah.
But you have the physical copy and you can play it with PSN being down, Like that's my whole problem, and I'm buying less and less digital because of that, because it's just and what about when these systems and these servers all go offline, Like we've seen this too. Like everybody's like, no, they'll carry your purchases over. No, they won't, because look at Nintendo. They haven't let you take your shit, and they've killed 2 different ecosystems now.
Yep.
The Switch is all new. The Wii and the Wii U, you had carryover, but like the original DSi network didn't work with the 3DS network. So you didn't get to keep any of those games. So no, the answer is no. They don't even have any obligation to make sure. They don't have any obligation to make sure that you get to keep and play the games that you bought digitally. They have no obligation to. So that's my problem with digital stuff. If they would sort that out better, I would be more okay with it. But and then if you're a pack rat and a hoarder and stuff like Matt and I are when it comes to games, it is nice to have the real one on the shelf.
Yeah, it is.
But from a realistic standpoint, though, the only real problem is that what's going to happen when they do PSN 2.0, you know what I mean, or Xbox Live 2.0, and Lord knows Microsoft is not good about keeping things the same over time.
Yeah.
So, and licensing. So, but anyways, I digress on that topic. So, Matt, you want to go ahead and go to the next? This next one's it was pretty interesting to read. You want to go for it?
Yeah, sure. So there was an article that was released on businessinsider.com, which is, an actual legit, website about business. Right. And they were talking about how Twitch is pulling in as many viewers as CNN and MSNBC.
That's huge. And Fox News and ESPN as well, it said.
Yeah, it's insanity, but then you can almost understand why, because as people like us that are in our generation and even the generation right before us, as we're getting older, people aren't watching cable TV. They're not even watching network TV, CNN, ABC, ABC, NBC, CBS, and all that.
And if they do, they're streaming the one show or a couple shows or whatever they like from that network. Yep.
Yeah, and we're people in our generation and people that are, even generation right before us, we're watching more streamed content more than ever. YouTube, Twitch, even Amazon Prime, Netflix, Hulu. And all that.
I was probably one of the last holdouts of our generation for that. But, when I spent the last 6 months not even watching my cable, I just recently killed it off. Like, you're right. It does make sense. It's the older generations that are doing all that. And I think this is going to be the trend. I think we're going to see a lot more of this.
And when you think about it, I guess as a business like Twitch, for example, even though they have a lot of costs associated with keeping the website online in terms of servers and bandwidth.
Right.
But in terms of who they're paying to, bring in the viewers and all that, they're probably paying minuscule amounts of money compared to like what a actual TV network has to pay, like their anchors and, actors and all that shit.
It's
too.
definitely
And
cheaper,
producers and directors and whoever the hell else who they have to pay for a show. Because look at someone like they mentioned article, this Dr. Disrespect. I've never seen him stream, but I've seen clips of him.
Yes, me too.
And I know he probably makes a lot of money from Twitch, but it's probably much cheaper to keep someone like him the face of Twitch compared to having to pay some expensive anchors and actors for these other networks. Well, here's the thing
too: they're not paying him any more than they would pay anybody that gets that amount of views.
That's true too. Yeah.
So it's not, they were getting these views anyways, just because they refocused to one dude. That the same amount of money is going out. You know what I mean?
Yep.
So yeah, no, it's definitely cheaper to operate. Yeah, you need servers and shit like that, but truthfully, with the way like AWS and all those services and whatever Microsoft is called, like server space is becoming cheaper and cheaper. As
it's
well.
Just bandwidth is more
right, which is also important. Becoming cheaper and cheaper. Yeah.
And the way they're talking about it, Twitch is all user-generated content, so Twitch really just has to provide the platform. They don't really have to do much else besides provide the platform, make sure it's stable, and all that.
Doesn't surprise me, too, why everybody else is trying to kind of copy the model. Even YouTube. YouTube's trying to jack up their live streaming stuff, and Microsoft is, they've been trying to break into that, and the only downside I could say to Twitch though is that because you don't really have any rights because they're completely private and they can do what the fuck they want with it.
Yeah.
I feel like they're a little too. I don't mind them being strict on what content they're allowing and keeping it a little more friendly to everybody, but like. I don't like how open their explanation for all that is. It's sort of like if they say you're doing something that's, outside of the user agreement, you're out. And there's no repercussion. You don't take them to court. There's nothing. Like that was their terms. They left them vague like that for a reason, and forget it. You're gone,
Yeah. But I mean, for people who hate all that shit, I mean, I can understand. I don't like a lot of like what they said for the new terms and services, but they are a private company. They set up those terms and conditions, and if they happen to find you in violation of one, boom, you're out, and you can't do anything because you agreed to everything by streaming and setting up an account.
But then what do you do? There's nobody else that you can kind of run to and rebuild yourself though. Because there's no other.
There's other services out there. I mean, YouTube's one of them. It's not as big, but if you have a big enough following, people will follow you. Not everybody, but people follow you to these other sites.
I think that it's a very low amount, Matt. I do. I think it's very low that will follow you from site to site. And it's an attention problem. Because look at now, we're not. I'm going to take us away from streaming for a moment and just talk more YouTube content.
Yeah.
These guys that make a living on YouTube, they have a serious problem where they can't take time off because if they're not putting out content, people will go to somebody else who is, and they have a hard time bringing them back. And I bet you Twitch is going to be like that too. Oh, so and so's not on Twitch anymore. Yeah, he's over here. Yeah, but I'm watching this guy now. And that's kind of a problem. So I don't know what the solution to that is, but as grand as the idea sounds in your head to, I'd love to be a content creator and not work for anybody and work for myself. Think about that. Like you're essentially being held hostage by Twitch or YouTube, whoever your platform is for whatever you're doing. And then your audience isn't faithful. They won't wait. They want it now, and they think they expect it. So it's becoming less and less glamorous, at least to me, to think about doing content creation as a job.
Oh yeah, dude. No, I would never want to do this as like a full-time job. I mean, unless the only time I'd want to do this is quote unquote a job is if I was already well off. I didn't have to worry about money.
Yeah, if you kind of had some success with it and were able to kind of have like a cushion to kind of sit on or something like that, it might be okay. Yeah. But that's super rare. That's like winning the lottery.
And in terms of like streaming or even YouTube, people don't realize there is an insane amount of luck behind it too. Where,
Insane.
a good example, and it frustrates me personally because it's like, what the fuck am I doing wrong? Is, there'll be a new Magic the Gathering podcast that starts up, and I mean, they're a nobody like I am, but yet somehow they're getting more views and downloads than I am, and it's like,
How
what
does
the
that
fuck?
shit happen?
Yeah, and then I go and listen to their content, and I'm like, holy shit! First of all, you know nothing about editing audio. It just sounds like shit, and you're talking about really boring stuff, yet everybody loves. And I'm like, what the hell am I doing wrong? And I mean, you probably understand what I mean.
Oh yeah.
It's same shit with streaming, YouTube, and you can do everything right by the book. You can read up and study on how to do, content creation, YouTube, whatever, and still never achieve success.
So did I tell you about this? Adam Carolla has like a podcast, like pay for. It's like a 6-part series to help you build your podcast up. Have you heard
really?
about this?
No, I haven't. I didn't know he did it. He did that.
Yeah. There's all kinds of sponsored ads popping up everywhere now, and it's like, yeah, listen to Adam Carolla, pay $30 and get 4 or 6 or whatever it is. I think it's 6 episodes from Adam Carolla teaching you how to, get more viewers and do everything right. And it's kind of like, whoa, hold on. This isn't. What does he know about right now in 2018 building a podcast up from the ground when you have nothing? Like, yeah, he brings a lot of podcasts up on Podcast One, but it's established network. And when he started,
and it's already established personalities too.
Usually, he's bringing on people that are already known and have big followings and stuff. But like when he started, first of all, let's look at it. The podcast realm was virtually non-existent. Okay.
Yeah.
Second, he was famous. And so he had a following and people that were going to listen to him anyway. So he jumped in at the right time. Granted, he did build it up from the ground up. I'm not trying to take that away, but he had a better start than most of us are going to do. How much does he really know about a nobody like, say, us coming up from the beginning? I feel like that's kind of a money grab, and I'm concerned that we're going to see more and more of that kind of shit too in the content creation, where people can't make it the normal way, so they're just going to be like selling shit that's supposed to help you along the way, kind of like scam shit, like self-help, motivational type sales and shit like that.
I don't know, man. I wouldn't be surprised, but
it's, and I think that's where it starts. And I kind of want to say shame on Adam Carolla for doing it.
Well, it's also, you bring up a good point where, he was already famous to begin with, but, look at other popular YouTube personalities like that we follow, like, the Angry Video Game Nerd and Pat Contry. Granted, right. They weren't famous before they started, but they started right at the birth of YouTube,
Well, not even that. Like AVGN was already a thing, right? So even he had, when he jumped to YouTube, he already had a following. Like he didn't start from the ground up there. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Granted, he started from the ground up online doing stuff. But when YouTube and all that, kind of like the modern era, quote unquote, of all this content creation, he already had a following. So there you go. So, it's just, I don't know. I don't know. I think you were right when you said that it's an insane amount of luck. I think that's what you need nowadays. Like you really need an insane amount of luck to break through, because it's not even skill or quality of anything. Because if anything we've seen lately, none of that shit matters at all.
Yeah.
The most garbagey shit will yield huge views or huge listens, and so anyways, I guess we can put that whole topic to bed. But yeah, so Twitch is the first thing that we're really hearing about is more popular than an actual TV network, and I do think that's cool overall. I do think that's cool.
Yeah. No, but it is cool. It's really changing the way we're consuming media,
For sure.
And
for sure.
It's almost interesting to see what it's going to be like how media is being consumed when I have grandkids,
God, it's going to be 100% different, dude.
Yeah.
I bet you none of this shit exists. YouTube, Twitch, I bet you all that shit's gone by then.
There's going to be like my daughter and your son are going to start their own podcast and talk about, yeah, you remember when we used to watch Twitch and when Marka PewDiePie was the most popular streamer, and the new streamers now just aren't as good. This new Dr. Django or whatever the fuck, I don't fucking know.
No, it's weird, man, to think about that.
Yeah.
Like, I don't see longevity. Like, I don't see YouTube sticking around for 20 years. I don't think it'll be there. How could it? They always lose money on it.
Something's got to topple it.
Yeah, they can't keep content creators happy. Content creators themselves can't keep their own followings for very long. Like, just a select few can. You know what I mean? Like, I don't know. Something's got to happen with all that. Like, I think that it's really weird, like you said, how we consume this stuff as compared to even 10 years ago, and think about what it's going to be in the future. It's just really interesting.
Yeah, man.
So next topic. This one is kind of interesting. So there's a company called Flight Sim Labs, and they are being accused of installing malware on their customers' PCs when they download.
How dare they?
Yeah, so it's kind of interesting. This one I found, this article I found on Kotaku, but it's kind of one of those things that like we all say is happening, but like kind of like conspiracy theory, like, oh, you don't know what they're doing with your data, well, this company got busted. So basically, there's some code in their games that installs some type of malware thing, and basically what it is it's a Chrome password dumping tool. So it goes into your Chrome, grabs your passwords and holds on to them and sends them up to them.
What a piece of shit.
Yeah, that's pretty fucking dirty. And it says, this guy from the company, what's his name? Flight Sim Labs. So I don't know the guy's name. Flight Sim. Oh, boss Lefterus Calamaris. I can't even say his name.
Sounds guilty.
He wrote on their own forums, that there's no tools to reveal any sensitive information. Any customers legally purchase our products, blah, blah, blah. He goes on, basically, he's like, it's used for themselves. Take specific measures to alert us. Wait, hold on, where is it? If such specific serial numbers. Oh, so it's supposed to stop pirated copies is what they're using it for. They call it test.exe, by the way. That's the name of the file. Test.exe.
Jesus.
But basically, they're using it to verify serial numbers to make sure that people are using legitimate copies. Which, okay, that sounds fine. I have no problems with that. But that's not the case, though, because even though they're saying that and that's what they're hiding behind, the thing is that it actually does steal your information, and it does it successfully. And the only reassurance you have is that company, Flight Sim Labs, is giving you reassurance that they're not going to use it or give it away, and that data is secure with them. So they are taking your data. They're taking your passwords. They're taking all kinds of shit from you, and they're just like, well, we're not using it. We're not using it.
Oh, okay. So that's okay.
Yeah, so that's okay. So it's just... This is one company that got caught. You know what I mean? And how many more are doing this to us?
Yeah, I know, right?
I mean, and the other thing is that, is this something now that we're going to see like Google change Chrome to stop things from doing this? And what kind of functionality problems is that going to give us? I just thought it's really crazy. It's for DRM check, and they're stealing your shit. And they're like, well, we're not going to use it, and it's safe with us. What if you get hacked, dicks?
Yeah. Dude, I mean, is there any kind of potential lawsuit on their hands with this? I don't see anything in the article.
Not that I see. Did you have the link in there?
Yeah, I'm looking at the Kotaku article right now. I'm not seeing any kind of potential lawsuit or anything, but
no, it says so. The last update, which was the day this article came out, the last update was this is from the company themselves. Says we have already replaced the installer in question and can only promise you that we will do everything in our power to rectify the issue. with those who feel offended, Matt,
Oh my
as
God.
well as never use any such
What the
heavy-handed approach
fuck,
in the
man?
future. Once again, we humbly apologize.
Fuck
Fuck
them.
you. Yeah,
Yeah,
fuck
just
them.
fuck them. I hope they get sued to oblivion for that shit.
I mean, it just takes one case of somebody's shit being stolen because of this, and
Yeah.
that's it. You know.
To try and stop hackers. I mean, it. I mean, you're just never gonna stop the freaking people to, you know, download your software illegally. I mean, how many times have we seen companies claim like, "Oh yeah, hackers won't be able to crack this," and a month later it's cracked.
Dude, the Switch is hacked already.
Yeah, I mean,
You know.
there's gonna be a way. People are
Is
gonna.
there anybody in the world that wants their shit hacked less than Nintendo? No.
Well, I mean,
You know, like it's like you're gonna get hacked. Like, stop it. Like, people are
yeah,
gonna get your shit on bootleg. But you know what? Those aren't your customers anyways. I hate to tell you.
yeah, exactly,
You know,
So fuck them, and I hope I never hear their name ever again.
so I will not be buying their. Which I wouldn't have bought a flight sim, probably
Well, they
anymore.
don't even make flight sim. They just make add-ons and mods for other flight sims.
Good point. Good
So
point. So there
never
you go.
gonna, yeah, fuck them.
Well, a very small company is dead today. I think they're done after this.
Especially with our ones of listeners, they're done. They're done.
Yeah, yeah. We have stopped at least one person from buying your shit.
And
So watch out.
actually 2 people, you and me.
Two. There you go. So one plus us. So three. So what now? What now? Flight Sim Labs.
Oh
What?
shit!
Shady fucks.
It's probably Vic or super fanboy Brian.
Yeah, they probably are out of it too.
Yeah.
I will say this, like, kind of related, is that like I used to, back in the day when I gave a shit and I had more drive, I would jailbreak my iPhones and I would put mostly
too.
to run emulators
Yep,
on my
me
phone.
too. Yep.
I didn't really do much else on it with it. I just did it to do that. And I would always find that, 6-8 months in of it being jailbroken, like, your phone would start running real shitty, or one day
Yup.
you'd go to use it and it would wipe itself. What data were they stealing from us during that time?
Oh, dude, everything.
The whole thing could be compromised because you're installing you're installing a totally hacked version of the OS. So who knows
Yeah.
what they had access to? But I mean, granted, that's a little different because we did it to ourselves. But it's out there, and you got to watch out. And if you can't trust companies that are legit developers, I mean, fuck, man, we're all doomed. Everything's just fucking ruined and doomed, Matt. Everything.
Yeah, pretty much. So, I mean, we can talk about some happier news on our next story.
Yes,
story.
followed by bad news about this next story.
Oh, yeah. So
Yeah, go right ahead.
So Super Mario Odyssey, a really, really awesome game for the Switch, just
Excellent
released
game.
its new update. I haven't played it yet. I really need to play it. It's they said they added Luigi's Balloon World, which is a new mini game available after finishing the main story. And it also adds 3 new outfits that you can buy from the shops as well too. It's like it looks like a I guess they consider this the musician outfit. That it sort of looks like the Goodfellas type outfit, but different colors that Mario can wear in the game.
Good fellas, that's a good way to put it.
Yeah, I mean, to me, it's always mobster Mario.
It is. It's mobster pinstripe suit.
Yeah, and then the next outfit is straight from Mario Sunshine, where he's wearing like sunglasses and a shirt with the shinies. Is that what they were called in Mario Sunshine?
Shines.
Oh,
yeah,
shines. Oh,
shines.
close
Yeah,
enough.
it's a Hawaiian shirt. So if you wanted to, you could wear a Hawaiian shirt.
And then we got Dark Souls Mario in the next one.
It's a coat of armor.
Yeah. Which I definitely need to buy that because that looks fucking sweet.
It is probably the sweetest of the 3.
Oh, and I guess they added new coin and neon filters to snapshot mode, which I never messed with that. So
The game makes you take a couple snapshots, but I've never even looked at them, the ones that I took.
I took some to collect some of the stars or moons, whatever the fuck. But I never really messed with the snapshot mode though, like too much, like adding filters and stuff.
I haven't messed with it one bit. I mean, honestly, like am I Matt, tell me if you saw me in this, but I feel like I'm the only one, like, because Final Fantasy 15 had some online or built-in like picture mode, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
And like I just don't care. Like if I'm gonna take pictures, I'm gonna do it in the real world. Like I have no want or need to take pictures in a video game. Is that just me?
Pretty much. I mean, but developers are putting them in there for some reason because they're obviously popular. People are doing it.
I mean, people make some pretty good photos, but at the end of the day, you took a screen cap of a video game to me. Like,
Yeah. I
I
mean,
don't know, man. I don't know what it is. Maybe it's because none of it's real, but like, I like taking a real picture with a camera or my
oh,
phone.
yeah,
You
definitely.
know?
The last game I even actually tried to get some good screenshots for was Horizon Zero Dawn or Horizon
Right.
Dawn Zero, whichever one it is. I forget.
That dinosaur, that metal dinosaur game,
Metal Dinosaur Jesus game.
metal dinosaur Jesus.
Yeah. But I mean, it's just because that game just looks so gorgeous when you're playing it.
It does.
So I saw some complaints about the new game mode.
Well,
That
hold on. Let's talk about what the game mode is, like what you do.
yeah, what the fuck is it? I don't even know.
So what it is it's kind of cool. It's like a multiplayer thing, like where you play with. I don't know if it's online or local or what, but I know it's multiplayer. And what it is you hide you get a balloon and you have to hide it somewhere in one of the worlds, and then the other person has to go and seek it out and find it. It's cool. It's like a mini game. As far
Oh,
as I
okay.
know, I haven't played it yet, but as far as I know, like you can go off into any world, and the other person has to kind of narrow it down and find it. It sounds cool. Like it could be fun. It sounds very Nintendo-y, multiplayer type situation. Yeah, so that's really it in a nutshell. I guess there's really not much else to it. It's hide and seek with balloons.
Oh, okay. Yeah, I'm watching a little video of it. So it looks like you have to find other players' balloons, and you get rewards for it, like coins and some shit.
A lot of coins apparently, from what
Yeah,
I tell. Yeah, so you can buy all kinds of in-game shit.
which is cool.
Yeah,
Um,
no doubt. And it's good to see them adding things to the game. It's not completely done, you know?
yeah, I saw people some complaining that why wasn't this included when the game came out and all that shit. I'm like,
God, people want
bitch.
everything, don't they?
It's like, bitch, it's free. All right.
Yeah.
Why are you
It's
complaining? There's even discounting this. There is still a shit ton of content to do,
yeah,
and
like did you need it at launch? Like were you going to do this too besides playing the actual game? Like
yeah,
fuck.
I don't know. People are just retarded, pretty much.
Pretty much.
So
Good
I guess
times.
what is this glitching that's going on with the or
So
people breaking the game with it?
so it's already, we can't have nice things, Matt, is what it comes down to. We can't have anything nice at all. So what happened was is people have already figured out places that you can force the balloon or stash the balloon that are out of the boundaries, so without a reach. So you'll never ever be able to get it and get the reward. Um, yeah, like I mean, it figures. Somebody's like, I guess New Donk City is kind of like the worst for it. There's a lot of out of bounds areas, and people are kind of doing that, and they're exploiting it. Some of the drama with it is that they're worried that Nintendo's going to patch it and stop it, which would be great for the balloon mode. But I guess all the speed runners, they use some of these glitches to exploit so that they can
Oh
save some
wow.
time. And that is kind of a thing for speedrunners is that they don't necessarily cheat, but they are taking advantage of shit in the code. And basically, if they change it, then all the records are kind of null and void, right? Because the game is now changed. So do they use, unupdated versions and that's the way you go forward? Or do you use the update? It becomes like a big fucking mess. So it'll be interesting to see what Nintendo does. Honestly, I don't think Nintendo gives a shit about people glitching and speed running their game. I think they care more about it plays properly. So I'd bet
True.
they patch it. I'd bet they patch it. Um, but and that's another thing about the world we live in is all these games are fucking patched left and right now. What happened to when a game came out? That was it.
That was in the olden days. I mean, is Yeah, the olden days of yore.
When did we talk? We talked about this the other day. When did we figure out that that stopped? Was that PS2 original
Yeah,
Xbox GameCube era?
well, I don't know about game. Could you play anything online on GameCube? Did it have an Ethernet port?
Yeah. So yeah, you can get an adapter for it,
That's right. That's right. Okay. Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
but it was like Fantasy Star Online.
But there
Um,
had to have been updates applied to Fantasy Star Online at one point.
Fantasy Star would get. I don't think so. Actually, no. They still released. So there's Fantasy Star, and there's Fantasy Star version 2, which is the update, and that's like a game disc. Um, as far as I know, you didn't download and actually update anything because you didn't have any storage on those systems.
That's true.
And like the PlayStation 2, you could hook up like USB flash drives to it and store
Yeah.
things, but you can't do any of that shit on the GameCube. So there isn't a USB drive on the GameCube. So I'm gonna go with no. I'm gonna say, and I don't know, maybe the original Xbox had patches because that was kind of a PC. It had a hard drive
Yeah.
and all that, and I don't remember, but somewhere in that era was the last time we got games that were the way they were.
Yeah. I mean, I do remember them releasing updated cartridges. Like, say, if there was a game-breaking bug in Super Mario World, they would release, like, say, a year or two later, they would release a second revision of the game. But
That was a thing, yeah. If there's anything major, if they did another batch, they would fix it in that. But they
yeah,
wouldn't make a big deal out of it though either. And the
no,
games were
they
never
wouldn't.
unplayable.
What the hell? I'm losing my voice for some reason.
The games were never unplayable. You know
Yeah,
what I mean? Like they wouldn't let that happen. But yeah, you're right. They would do revisions, but it wasn't necessary. You know.
yeah.
Um, let's
But
see. I'm trying to see if there's anything else. So the problem here, players hell, especially permanent New Donk City. Yeah, New Donk City is like the worst place for it. So good times, good times. We can't have nothing nice. Can't even get a new mode without people trying to fuck you over on it. See, the thing is that if you hide the balloon and it doesn't get found,
yeah,
you get the reward. So by hiding it where somebody can't get to it, guarantees that you're going to get those coins and all those rewards. That's kind of what they're doing with that. That's how they're exploiting it and why they're exploiting it. I say, what's wrong with playing fair? I mean, come on.
yeah, yeah. But it's speedrunning community. That's a crazy one. There's it's like cutthroat competition in that shit, man.
But it's all bragging rights, right? Like, there's no prizes or money in any of that. Or am I wrong?
Um, I mean, not really like prizes or it is bragging rights, but there are followings too. Like the speedrunning community is a lot bigger than we think because we don't follow it. I mean, there's a lot of popular speedrunners out there, and they got
That's
a big
true.
following and make money off that shit.
That's true. I guess that's true because like even like when we were talking about last week with all the and the week before with like all the Donkey Kong stuff, like the guys that are setting the records now just do it on Twitch. So I'm sure they have
Yeah.
a bunch of people watch when they stream because it might be a
Oh, of
world record
course.
that's set.
Yeah.
You know. But yeah, no decision yet. By the way, on our buddy Billy Mitchell if his score is going to be pulled from Twin Galaxies or not.
It should be.
I,
Fuck him.
I could not agree more. So I could not secure the funds, Matt, but a fun fact, everybody. So I just so happened to be in a Billy Mitchell hole online
God.
this week
Again.
again, and I ended up on some forum with some shit from like 2010.
Dude, you're
And
obsessed.
Somebody put the link to his restaurant that he owns in Hollywood, Florida, their website, and he did not pay to renew it. I was trying like hell to come up with the $400 to buy the domain so that I would own the rights to his fucking restaurant's website.
Oh my
but
God.
I couldn't get it to happen. Not his hot sauce website, which was crashed, by the way, because of all the controversy. People are Googling the shit out of him. And his hot sauce website that he sells his hot sauce from was completely down. Bandwidth exceeded. I couldn't buy that domain, but his restaurant is open. If anybody wants to get it, that would be fucking hilarious.
That
Steal
would be.
shit. So that's the update there. No, nothing really. All he's still standing by it. That it's Twin Galaxy's fault for losing shit, but seems sketchy.
For sure.
So, Matt, do you want to take the last topic?
Sure. I guess the next topic is them talking about how the circle acts a bit differently in competitive PUBG, which I didn't even know they were even. I'm not surprised they're doing competitive PUBG, but I guess I'm surprised they're doing competitive PUBG because it's not a very interesting game to watch from when I watch streamers and stuff.
Yeah.
It's more fun to play than anything.
Well, I think that's why they're kind of changing what the competitive scene for it looks like, right?
Yeah.
Because they had to. It's not. It doesn't force enough action. But I was watching this, and like the first tournament was like the other day, and I watched like a clip and everything. Like that game went 35 minutes. Like we were talking about this last week. Like they're long ass games, even with the new competitive rules and changing how the circle acts. Like it still went 35 minutes for one match.
Yeah, fuck that, man.
That's long, man.
So, according to what I'm reading here, and I still haven't seen a competitive game, so I don't know what it's like, is they're saying that normally when you're playing, the circle is about 4.2 kilometers in diameter, but in competitive, it's 3.7 kilometers, so about a 500-meter difference. Right. And then when the circle gets smaller, they say the following circles, however, are bigger than normal and close and slower than regular circles. Where was the other part?
It's also not random. It just starts shrinking evenly. So it's more predictable on what's going to happen. So the idea, I guess, is to get the teams and everybody that's fighting to focus on the fighting and less on the running to avoid the circle.
Yeah.
Which I guess makes sense if you're trying to make it interesting to watch. Because, I mean, how many times can you watch people get swallowed by a circle? Or just be running?
Yeah, and if they make the circle more predictable, how's it going to feel like when a whole team drops in one area of the map and, the entire time they're just running across the map and then they don't make it and they die?
Exactly right. Right. So I think that's really cool that they did that for the competitive mode. I think that's smart if they're going to try to do anything because, they're up against Fortnite for this. And Fortnite, I don't think needs to modify shit to go competitive. It's quick. The circle isn't a problem. It's fast game. It's fast paced. So I think they need to do something like this. Because it's actually like a regulated match and all that, like you don't have to worry about cheaters or anything. So that's kind of cool.
Yeah.
So matches in, was it Katowice? Katowice, I think it's in Poland.
Yeah.
Is where they did this at, where they started doing this. That's pretty interesting. But yeah, so PUBG going competitive. And they changed the rules a bit. I wonder, can you play the competitive version, like if you wanted to, so you could train?
I don't know. I mean, it would be nice. It'd be cool.
It would be on the test server, if anything, I would guess, but I haven't messed with that in a while. I don't know. I don't know how I feel about competitive esports, man, to be perfectly honest with you. Is there anything that you frequently watch?
I mean, Magic is the only thing.
Is that an esport, though?
I mean,
because it's not electronic.
I mean, they're trying to. I mean, with the new Magic Arena that I'm in the beta of, that's going to be the new esport, depending on how they do it,
right?
And how you collect cards and everything. But Magic is the only thing I really watch on Twitch regularly in terms of tournaments and all that. And I may tune into a really big Starcraft 2 tournament when it's one of the big ones of the year. But other than that, not really, man. I don't really watch much on Twitch unless it's a Magic tournament.
So how does that work with a Magic tournament? Do they have like announcers and stuff, or?
Yeah. They've got they've got a play-by-play and a color commentator. They've got cameras, overhead people watching the cards, and they'll talk about what cards they're playing, and
so it's a whole big production then.
Oh yeah, dude. When I was up in Atlanta, I saw all the setups and just the rig they build for the camera. It's like, damn, that doesn't look cheap. Just the little rig they have.
How much room do you think there is for all these different pro circuits and all these different e-games? Because like I'm looking right now and it's like there's Dota 2 pro circuit, there's League of Legends is still there. You've got the MLG, which is like Call of Duty and shit like that, and now you've got
Yeah.
PUBG, and there's talk of Fortnite entering. Like, is there really enough people watching to support this many different variants of it?
Well, you also have to remember, even though, like, okay, let's just take a look at League of Legends right now. As of we're recording this, there's almost 150,000 people watching the North American LCS right now, and to you and I, that's a lot of people watching it, but to sports networks, that's not a lot. But
That's nothing, dude.
we're also not taking into account all the other foreign streaming websites that are out there too that are pulling in big numbers. Like South Korea has Africa or Africa.tv or something.
Africa.
It's like AFREECA. I don't know how you say. I don't know how you really say it.
Say it like you're Korean, Matt.
Oh God, no.
Japanese.
I'm not even gonna try to fucking
do
do
it.
it.
Old Japanese man.
Oh, Africa. No. But
Just on a fem-
it's. I mean, we're also not taking in those numbers too. I mean, it could be another 150,000 watching League of Legends too, so that's 300,000. And then how many unique viewers are there actually watching it too? So even though the numbers are a lot lower than, say, maybe a typical sports game like football or, basketball or something, it's still a lot of people and a lot of eyes, and advertisers look for that shit. Like when you're watching these esports, the majority of advertisers are computer companies, like,
right, because that's their target audience. Like, instead of hitting, because like you think about it, like you get somebody watching basketball. Like, well, obviously everybody's into basketball that's watching that, but what else is everybody into? So like, it's like you might have 1 million people watch a basketball game, which might actually be a little high estimate unless it's like a finals game. But whatever, we'll use 1 million for example. You're watching an NBA game, somebody, well, everybody needs to clean their house. Well, let's hope that 100,000 people will actually even consider our product, so 1/10. Whereas with this, that's true, Matt, you make a good point that, if you're advertising on 150,000 and it's computer related shit, that pretty much everybody that's watching is some type of a computer nerd and you're speaking to them directly. So it is a little bit better in that aspect, but I'd like to see the companies. Like, I feel like they still treat all the online stuff and the streaming and the YouTubes and stuff like that as second rate because the numbers are lower for each individual thing. But like, when are they going to switch to, prioritizing those and understanding that you're getting a better demographic? Like you're getting your demographic specifically. Like, when is that going to happen? Because that's what's keeping these old TV mentalities still running,
Yeah. And I mean, I agree. I understand. It's still a long way to go before, League of Legends is going to topple American football or anything like that.
Well, again, but now you've got the thing there is that you're not just League of Legends is very specific. Not only is it PC gaming, but first of all, it's gaming. Then it's PC gaming. Then it's League of Legends. Do you know what I mean? Like, it's very specific. So,
yeah.
Will that beat out American football? No, because football, you've got people that are into football, but it's all walks of life, right? Like, it's totally different. It's not very specific like that.
And watching football, and like, if you know nothing about football, it's easy to watch and understand. Basically, one team has to make it to the other side of the field.
Right. Well, exactly. And League of Legends, like, you have to know. Like, I'm a PC gamer, or gamer, we'll say in general, and I'm interested in all that stuff, but I don't know anything about League of Legends, so I'm not going to watch it. You know what I mean?
It's and I don't know if you remember these arguments I used to have with Mikey back at work. It's when I compare something like Starcraft versus League of Legends, I find Starcraft easier to watch as a casual viewer. Like, I've never played Starcraft, never played League of Legends. I find Starcraft easier to understand than League of Legends because
by far. It's much more simple.
Basically, Starcraft, you have to build a big army and kill the other person. League of Legends, it's even though at its basic core you have a team of 5 on both ends, and the other team has to destroy the other base. But that's not what they do in the game. They're not just going straight for the other base. They're doing way more other stuff.
Right. It's super deep, and what what can each character do, and like what is their role in it, and what tactic are they taking to get to that first. Yeah, it's way deeper.
We're getting into the details of it, and StarCraft is similar, and you can say the same for a lot of the esports out there. Call of Duty,
super easy to watch.
Halo, and fighting games. I can actually sit down and watch Street Fighter or Mortal Kombat, and I may not know the specific moves or anything, but those are really, really simple to understand and watch. It's hey, can the other guy beat up the other guy? Pretty much.
Exactly. That Dragon Ball Fighter Z, by the way, is becoming quite the popular thing. I'm noticing a lot of people are streaming that, and there's already tournaments for it and shit.
Which I mean, I can understand maybe League of Legends being more popular because it's a team-based game, but right. I was always surprised that when esports started coming up, that fighting games weren't more popular than they are.
That's a great point,
because those are probably some of the easiest video games to understand for someone who doesn't play video games a lot or anything, and
That's really weird, Matt. That's a really good point. Or like if you ever see a video game tournament somewhere out in like the real world, it's usually like a fighting game, Yeah. So you'd think that would be kind of the more larger one,
or even racing games too. I'm surprised that racing games have never really taken off in esports.
So there is like iRacing and shit like that exists, which is actually a simulator. They don't get hardly any views. You know why? Because racing itself has a hard time getting views.
Yeah.
So now you're talking virtualized, like not, that's a lot different. NASCAR is probably like the exception to any of those, is the only one that seems to be able to draw a TV audience, and honestly, nobody really plays. When you want to race on the computer, the amount of people that race NASCAR based stuff is way less than the amount of people that want to race Formula One or Le Mans or GT Cup cars and shit like that. Like, more people want to play those, but nobody really wants to watch them, and nobody watches any of those in real life. Like, the numbers are really low, especially in America. You might get more Formula One than anything, but NASCAR destroys it, and I don't know what the magic is there, because it's kind of the simplest form of racing when it comes to spectating. So I don't know, man. I that's probably has a lot to do with it. Is just it's parallel in the real world is hard to succeed in. So therefore, why would it be any easier?
I guess that's true. I guess I never really thought of it like that.
Yeah.
But yeah, I don't know, man. Esports are here to stay. They're not going anywhere.
I would agree with that. Maybe I should find one that I want to get into. The other thing is too, is like, I don't know who's good or anything. Like, I don't know who to root for. It's kind of hard as an outsider to get in. Maybe that's the key.
Yeah, because even though, I still love StarCraft and all that, if I try to watch it now, all the players I used to follow back when it first started, none of them play anymore.
Right.
There was a time where Blizzard really fucked up in terms of the esports scene, and that could be a whole podcast in and of itself. I don't want to get too deep into it, but they fucked up for a long time in their esports scene. And they started.
Overwatch is fixing that.
Well, no, I just mean StarCraft, not talking about
Okay.
anything else. So they fucked up big time for it, and they were starting to get back into the groove of it, but Overwatch came out, and all their main focus of esports is all on Overwatch. And I've tried getting into Overwatch with the Overwatch League, and while they do a really, really good job in production, all of it seems so phoned in, because what got me about Overwatch is as soon as the game was announced, people were already like, okay, we need to make it an esport. We need to, start forming teams. We need to start doing this and that. I feel like they didn't let it organically grow into an esport.
Gotcha. Okay.
It felt like they already had esports in mind for this. So
right from the get-go. So it's a little less authentic, maybe a little less genuine.
Not
real grassroots growth on it.
Yeah, whereas StarCraft, especially StarCraft 1, that was complete grassroots, and, StarCraft 1 was never meant to be an esport, and even though StarCraft 2 was thought of as an esport from the ground up, but it already had, all the support from StarCraft 1.
Right, that's true. I don't know, man. It's interesting. Like I was thinking about it too. Like coming at it from the outside is like, I don't know. Like I think they make Call of Duties exactly like you were just saying about Overwatch, like with esports in mind. Now you think about it.
Now they do, definitely.
Yeah, for sure. And like, what about like you kind of alluded, you kind of touched on this a little bit too, is that all the players you used to watch aren't there anymore. It really is a young man's sport too, esports. Like you don't see anybody older than like 23, 24 playing anything professionally. Like they're done at that point. And I think that's really weird. And I think that's kind of alienating as well, because you're not going to get people like us interested in watching some 19-year-old play Call of Duty. You know what I mean?
Well, yeah, esports is a young man's game because you need the reflexes for it and the all that stuff. And to be honest, and like when I was heavy into Starcraft 2, even before I started the job we work at now, I try to want to not really be a pro, but get good enough to, hey, maybe do a tournament or something. And
right.
And then just same with Magic, you start reading like what it takes and all that, and you're like, holy shit, I've got a family and I'm already at a job that makes more money than these fucks make and all that. And
they really don't make much money either for how much money's wrapped into it all. Like,
yeah,
and you got to do some winning to make a living out of it,
dude. Especially pro Magic. I read what these pro Magic players go through, and I'm like, I would never want to do that, man. And that's
some of them still live with their moms and shit, dude.
Yeah,
and they're pros. What the fuck? That's not cool.
Not saying that living with parents is bad, but when you're in a situation where you can't live out on your own and you're doing a profession where you're probably not making a lot of money to begin with, it's like you got to look at what you're doing with your life, man. Unfortunately,
that's a whole other thing. Yeah. That's a whole other thing. But I feel like, how could you be a professional at something that's so major, massive like that, and still not be able to live on your own? Like that's a problem too. You know what I mean? Who's taking the money out of this? Where's the money really going? Well,
like Magic's a good example. There's just not a lot of money in Magic. There's really not. The only sponsors that I ever see in Magic are just, Ultra Pro. Ultra Pro is a huge one, and Ultimate Guard, and all they do is make Magic accessories. And while Magic accessories is a decent business for Magic players, outside of that, that's not a lot of money. It's not a major money maker.
Okay, well, so for that it makes sense, but like these dudes that are MLG guys and that win Call of Duty championships and shit like that, and they make.
But there's money in those though. When like Call of Duty championships or League of Legends championships, you're looking at prize pools of, either $500,000 to $1 million. Magic championships, you're looking at 10 to 50 grand.
Well, hold on, because the last I heard, that like these like Overwatch and Call of Duty and stuff like that, guys, they're getting like, we're not talking like the main tournament, we're talking like, these smaller ones, because they have to play multiple per year, like they're playing them all the time. They're getting a couple grand or something from each one. And like that's their income for the month. And it's like they rely more on like sponsorships and stuff like that.
Oh, and we also don't know if they get salaries too now. Now, I do know, just speaking from Magic terms, a lot of the Magic teams, they don't make salaries at all. It's all tournament winnings or sponsorships. Now, right. A lot of these teams like League of Legends or Dota and Overwatch, they do make salaries on the teams. Same with Starcraft as well also. It may not be big salaries, and they also sometimes have free housing where they all live in the same house too. Like the team buys a house pretty much, and they all live there and train there.
It seems almost kind of like some forced shit though. To live there, it's like you got a game like
24/7. Like yeah. I've read regiments that StarCraft players do, like South Koreans do. It's pretty much get up, eat breakfast, maybe do half an hour of exercise, play StarCraft for 8 hours, then train with your coach on certain strategies of StarCraft. Maybe, in between that, eat lunch and dinner, maybe do another 30 minutes of exercise and go back and play StarCraft until, it's time to go to bed.
Out. Yeah. And wake up and do it again like 7 days a week. Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
And, I guess the trade-off to that is you won't be doing it for very long anyways.
Nope. Nope.
So, but what do you do with your life then? You put everything on hold to be a pro, and it's over in 2-3 years. What do you do after that?
It really depends on where you live in the world too. Like someplace like Asia or Europe, it may be easier because options to go back to school are relatively cheaper in those areas, and compared to here in America, I mean, just like anything, like once you hit 25, 26 and you don't have any other experience, it's either maybe try something else in media or go back to school or work at McDonald's or something.
Dude, I'm waiting for the day that you and I get an applicant that says like, former MLG champion or something, like on their resume.
Oh, I'm just going to call them up and just be like, so tell me about your MLG experience. Oh yeah, da 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 da. And just make fun of them like we normally do.
Oh, that applies to literally nothing. No, that'd be mean as hell. But
yeah,
like that shit's going to start happening,
Oh
like,
yeah.
I think that like, I don't think you should strive to be a pro gamer. I think that if you're good enough, like, and it comes to you, you should do it. But I don't think that that's any type of goal to work towards.
What about your son? What if he was like super good at Plants vs. Zombies?
Okay,
like, and there was a huge scene
great
for
example.
It,
I mean, great if it comes. Like I said, if it comes to him, do it, man. Run with it. See where it goes. If that's what he's passionate about, sure. But like, if he's mediocre at it or he's okay, and he decides that's what he wants to do and go towards and puts all his effort towards it, and is there other things he could be doing? Do you see the difference there? You know what I mean? I'm not going to really try and say don't go after your dreams, but on the other hand, when it comes to like pro gaming, it's like that's kind of a terrible goal to go towards because at best you're going to get a couple years and then you're fucked,
I mean, like, same goes for trying to make it in YouTube and Twitch and content creation. It's, like, hey,
do it, see what happens, but don't rely
on it.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
Yeah, man.
We just sound like some fucking downers, don't we? Don't follow your dreams, kids.
Don't follow your dreams.
That should be a shirt. Don't follow your dreams. That should be our next shirt.
It should be. Which we need to talk about that a little bit. We're working on actually trying to get some shirts and merch. Buy that merch. Get that merch.
We are. I don't think we'd make a single fucking penny off of it, but it would be cool to have some shirts, wouldn't it?
Yeah. Because and then I know we've been talking about maybe trying to do some events, some live episode. Well, they'd be recorded, but it'd be live at a venue or something, and
live to us.
Yeah, live to us, and maybe trying to go to a convention or something. It's just we just need to plan it out. I know we got MegaCon coming up in May, but you know when they're having it though? Probably the worst weekend, Labor Day weekend.
Ooh,
the last weekend of May, because I was planning on going to Washington D.C. that weekend, and then I realized, because there was that Magic tournament, and then I realized, it's during Labor Day weekend. Oh, I'll have fun traveling then.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know. It might be okay because we get an extra day off, though. It might be worth it. Like, it's okay to put up with some bullshit.
I mean, if we want to do MegaCon, I'd recommend we do Sunday and not Saturday or Friday, because those are going to be insanity.
Yeah, no, I agree with you on that. We should definitely do that.
We could talk about it.
Mark that down for sure. But on the shorter term, Matt, we talked about here the next week or two. Probably not this weekend, but the following weekend, you and I are going to try to go find some type of a tournament here locally and just see what's up. Just check it out. So we'll keep you guys posted. We'll probably put that up on our Twitter or whatever. Anybody in the area or has questions or wants to meet us there or whatever, just let us know. But we'll keep you all posted on that. But yeah, we are going to do some more actual events. And it would be cool to have some merch on hand when we do
buy
these.
that merch. So, buy that merch.
Get that merch money.
Get baby onesies and all that.
Yeah, we'll have VCR baby onesies and shit. Yeah. Matt, you know them Corollas that you got, they don't buy themselves, do they?
I know, right? I have been honestly thinking about trading in my Corolla for a new Corolla.
You need wiper blades at a time.
No,
you gotta trade the car in.
No, I ran out of my free oil changes.
Knew it. I knew there was something.
So I'm like, maybe I should just trade this in.
Damn, I'm getting to the point, man, where I'm like at the point on my loan where I could get out of a car, and it's the longest I've ever owned a car. So
yeah, dude, you've had that car forever.
3 years, man. I've never owned a car this long, so
I know.
I don't know. I'm getting antsy, man. I'm getting antsy. So, but yeah. So, well, Matt, that is about it for our podcast today. Is there anything you wanted to add in before we bid everybody adieu?
If you're into Magic the Gathering, definitely check out and Dungeons and Dragons. Definitely check out my Magic with Zuby podcast, which can be found on iTunes, Google Play, Stitcher, and TuneIn Radio on YouTube, and and any of your favorite podcast app, and you can just check it out there. And I got a pretty cool guest coming out this Friday, and it was a lot of fun. So yeah.
Nice.
That's
where can they yell at you online? How can they, if somebody wanted to just tell you what the fuck was up, how would they do that, Matt?
They can degrade me on Twitter for @Zubatron. That's ZUBATRON. And tell me what a piece of shit I am.
Awesome.
And I'll just be like, hey, I love you too. Okay. What about you, man?
I can be belittled and we got to clear this up because it seems to change all the time. I'd like to apologize that I was confused on last week's episode. My Twitter is actually @Killabeez, KILLABEEZZ, the number 2 and then the letter T, @Killabeez2T. I know there's some confusion. That is it officially. We checked. It's in the description as well. Matt, where would somebody go if they wanted to go to our website? What would they do?
They can go to vcrgamingpodcast.com, or if they're watching the video, they can look at all the links down below. And they can find us on Twitter @VCRGaming, on Instagram @VCRGaming, on Facebook facebook.com/VCRGaming, and Gmail @VCRGamingPodcast@gmail.com. I think that about there
covers as well.
Yeah.
Yes. You can,
hey,
if you talk down to us on any of these platforms.
Hey, if you send us a hate comment now, we'll be sure to not send you a free T-shirt.
But we will talk about it in the next episode.
Yeah. Like, hey, someone hates our podcast. It's awesome.
Yes, we've made it. We have haters.
Oh, hey, you know what? There was actually, I forgot to mention this to you because this podcast gets posted on one of my Magic the Gathering forums, and someone responded to last week's episode, and it's someone by the name of Jess Golbez who follows my Magic with Zuby podcast, and he asks, actually towards you, Matt, how can anyone hate Mario Kart?
Oh, well, he must not have been listening long enough to know that it's a love-hate balance, because I have put Mario Kart in all of my top lists. In fact, when we have like a Sega top 10 list or something in the future, I'll probably put Mario Kart on there anyways.
A Sega.
Yeah. So, no, I love Mario Kart, but it is a game that I have, like, I think the way I put it last week, Matt, was that I've never torqued a controller as many times for any other reason except for Mario Kart. So, it's just something that pisses you the fuck off sometimes.
Oh, yeah.
Mario Kart is great at doing that. It will ruin your evening, and it can bring the hate out. So that I hope that answers your question. But officially, I do like Mario Kart. But it does fucking get right underneath my goddamn skin.
Oh, yeah.
But yeah, so there. Wow, cool. I didn't know about that. So thanks for reaching out to us, and hope he hears my response.
Yeah, hopefully. But yeah, I think that about does it for us.
That is a full, complete episode for your earballs. Check us out next week, same time, same place. Twitch. We try to be 5:00 on Sundays, live on Twitch. We were a half hour late today, but we are good about posting that, aren't we, Matt?
Yep.
We let everybody know. Don't worry, we'll be there. So check us out live. If not, download us on any of your favorite apps, podcast apps, Shout Engine, Google Play, Stitcher, TuneIn Radio, Apple, iTunes, iPod, whatever, podcasts,
Zune,
all that shit. Yeah, Zune. If you have a Zune, somehow you could probably put us on there, I guess. But yeah, that's it. So thank you, everybody, for listening. As always, we will catch you guys next time.
All right. Have a great night.